Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. I'm Lynelle Ellis, your host and the president of Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association, and I'm really glad that you tuned in for the show today. I'm going to be interviewing Greg Lybeck from the Walla Walla Fairgrounds. He's the manager of the fairgrounds there, and he's going to be sharing with us what we can be looking forward to at our Walla Walla County Fair and Frontier Days, which we're all excited to have again after a one-year break. And also, we're going to be sharing some important station news with you at the end of the program, so stay tuned for all of those things, and let's begin now with our devotional thought. This week, I'm teaching a class to the new master's degree cohort in Cinema, Religion, and Worldview. This is at Walla Walla University, and we're looking at how the Bible writers communicated the gospel. And one of the groups of writers that we are studying is the Old Testament prophets. They were an interesting group of people. A couple of things that stand out about their communication and the way they communicated the messages of God I want to share with you today. And the first is this. They put all of their gifts into proclaiming the message. In fact, some of the Old Testament prophets like Isaiah were very gifted writers. As J. Muhlenberg wrote in Hastings' Dictionary of the Bible, Isaiah places all this extraordinary wealth of literary composition in the service of prophecy. What I like about this thought is that each of the prophets gave the best that they had for the use of God and to His glory. Here's what William Barclay, who was a Scottish minister and professor of the 20th century, has to say about the talents that the prophets used for God's kingdom. He wrote about this in his book, Communicating the Gospel. To the great prophets, only the finest language was sufficient for the finest thoughts. They loved words and used them lovingly like artists. It may well be that at least some of the impact of the Christian message today is lost because of the careless and slovenly way in which it is presented. Wow, there's really something to think about there in what Barclay has to say, and it's definitely a challenge. We need to give our best and our most beautiful talents and creativity towards sharing the truths of God's kingdom. We don't want to be lazy or sloppy about it. In addition to the beautiful writing that the prophets used, they were also willing to illustrate God's lessons to the people around them. Sometimes when their audience seemed kind of unwilling to hear the message, they did things that seemed, to put it mildly in some cases, a bit unusual. Like Ezekiel lying on his side for over a year, or designing a model of the city of Jerusalem and then laying siege to it. Or like Jeremiah hiding his belt in the cracks of the rocks, or going to the potter's house to illustrate the message through clay. It seems that the prophets were ready to use whatever method was best and do whatever God instructed them to do in order to communicate His messages to the people. Here are Barclay's thoughts again. The prophets were determined by any means to get their message across to men. Here again, there is something that is significant. The prophets were entirely willing to experiment. They would never, like the modern church, have gone on doing the same things in the same way to an ever diminishing public. They would have insisted on finding some way to make their message come alive. There's a lot to think about in that quote from Barclay. Are we willing to give our all the talents and creativity God has given us, all the energy He has given us to share the message of His kingdom? We can do our best for God. And that's a challenge that I would like to embrace. And I'm encouraging my students in this way too. May we try new, creative ways to share the good news with our culture. Like the Apostle Paul, we can commit ourselves to sharing the good news in a variety of ways. He said, "I have become all things to all people, so that by all possible means I might save some." So please join me in committing ourselves to giving the best to God and His kingdom. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining me now is Greg Lybeck from the Fairgrounds, from Walla Walla. Well, we call it Walla Walla Fair and Frontier Days, yes?
Correct. That's exactly right.
What's your official title there?
I'm the general manager.
You are of the Fairgrounds?
Of the Fairgrounds, yes.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been?
I've been there since, I think, 16th of January this year, so I'm fairly new. This will be my first fair. I am the new guy, yeah, definitely.
But you come with a lot of experience. You're not a new guy to Fairgrounds.
Yeah, no, I started, I think, my junior year in high school working on a Fairgrounds, and I think this will be my 38th fair that I have been through, counting the Central Washington State Fair for 27 years. Yeah,
so. Which is Yakima?
Is Yakima, yes.
Mm-hmm. So. Very good. Yeah. So what can we expect at this year's fair? There's always some special events, and I know this interview is going to actually air on Thursday, so maybe at least one of those events will have already happened. But
well, Chicago is the first night out. It's Wednesday.
Classic band.
Absolutely. I mean, they're world famous, and big change from previous years where they went country. It sold really well, and it's still selling really well. There are challenges with it that we're fighting through because the production's big. They're used to being maybe more in an arena instead of a dirt
yes.
rodeo floor, right? So we're having to work through that, and there's been a lot of meetings, and I think we're to the point where we finally are ready to set up the stage tonight and then move them into tomorrow.
Yes.
Although
we're recording this on Tuesday, so
yes. So I'm sorry. So
no, it's fine.
Okay.
Just so our audience knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, so I think that's a big hurdle for me. I think once we can get those guys moved in and create the little compound that we need to create and have places for them to live and while they're there and have food is special types of stuff that we've got to do with that. So special catering, plywood all over the place to push the things. And once we set 2,700 chairs on the floor, which is about 1,000 more than we normally do.
Wow.
In the past. So once we get that event done, then it's going to be okay. Now we're going to get into some territory where we're a little bit more familiar with.
Yeah, sure. In fact, there'll be a big transition to that area before Thursday night with the Demo Derby again. Yes.
Yeah, Demo Derby is Thursday night, and officially we sold out. So we're not going to have tickets for that. So I think it's always good to sell out. And they say it sells out every year, and it really is a favorite of Walla Walla's. And being new, we do demo derbies, and everybody always likes a demo derby, but to be able to do the numbers that we do and have everybody love that event so much is great.
So what other events at the big stage?
Well, then we have 3 nights of rodeo, and I haven't been to our rodeo, but we have 550 cowboys signed up and cowgirls signed up to be part of our rodeo this year. It's a ton, and I think our numbers are not about where they were in 2019, so that's good that we're not down. Our whole parking lot is full of horses and cowboys in their trailers right now, and between us and Ellensburg, they're going back and forth. And I've been told a rodeo. I look forward to seeing it because I've been told by a lot of people that are rodeo fans that it's one of the very best rodeos in the Northwest. So excited to see that.
Excellent. And you have something brand new coming to the fair this year having to do with dogs. Yeah,
Dock Dogs. Dock Dogs they're a show that play fairs all over the nation, and even when I was in Yakima I wanted to get it. We never did have them come in here. But Dock Dogs, best way to explain it would be it's good for all ages, right? You can be old, young, whatever, and everybody loves animals, but it's like Dog Olympics. So you have the long jump, you have the high jump, and it's just like the high jump would be in the Olympics where they keep moving the bar up, and when the dog misses so many times they're out. Or they have speed swimming, and then the other part is it's like a decathlon, so you have an overall champion who's best jumper, long jumper, and speed. And so it's going to be really popular, and I think
where is that taking place?
It's in the Manny Waters grass area. It's in the back. We have the Inland Empire stage next to it, so we've kind of created an entertainment area back there where we're going to have not conflicting. Hopefully we're fairly scheduled where one happens then the other one happens. And
do you have to have special tickets to the Dock Dogs?
You do not. They're free. They're free events, and I think it's something that I want to do more of in the future. We have another stage we set up too where it's not all music. It's interesting things that you can only see at a fair. There's literally hundreds of acts that you can bring to fairs that you only get to see once a year. And I think that's what a fair should be. And so we're going to be migrating to that way a little bit more as we go into the future.
I like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, like jugglers and magicians and street acts on the corners. And hard to get the street acts this year. We wanted to get a bunch of buskers, but I think COVID hurt them too. So
yeah. Speaking of COVID, since you mentioned it, it's hard to have any conversation without bringing it up. We had no fair last year.
Right.
I think probably all the fair crew have been scrambling to make this fair happen.
We for sure have. I think we were laid off, most of our people, until towards the tail end of May. So we've crammed.
Not that long ago.
Not that long ago. So we've crammed 10 months of work into basically 2 months. When we got June 30th was our go date when Governor Inslee said everybody's open. So we felt comfortable at that time moving forward with the fair and signing contracts and paying money for things. And so we've been just swamp busy, but it's been great. I think we have a lot of volunteers that are great that have supported us, helped us. Our commissioners have been very supportive of everything that we've done, and the staff that we have working in our office are exceptional. So they've done a ton of work. I'm proud of what they've done, and we got one more day. More day.
It's just an amazing amount of work
yeah.
that you've been doing to pull this together.
And then we're taking COVID serious. I think we're working with our health department and the commissioners, and I think we have a pretty good plan put together that is going to be good for everyone.
Yeah, so with that plan, what do we need to know as we come to the fair?
Well, we'll have signage, are directing you on what to do, but we're going to have buildings that where signage is required. And it'll be posted.
Masks?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So your mask is going to be required, and then others that are more outdoors. Although some of our barns are pretty closed air, so they'll be required in the barns too. You just need to look at the signs. I think we have hand wash stations all over the place, and so we're ready for that. We have vaccination clinics coming in for all 5 days. So people that do want to get vaccinated will have an opportunity to get their second, third, or their first one. So, and they'll have all 3 of the vaccinations.
I'm thinking about exhibits and exhibitors, because we often have lots and lots of community people who either with animals, we've got 4-H, FFA, and schools, and just open class. How's that going this year? Normal amount? Or?
We're a little down in some of the stilled arts and stuff like that, but I think with our animals, our livestock, we're right on par where we are. So I think they come in at 5 tonight. So I think that's all the animals start coming in tonight. So the barns are empty, they're decorated. So the people have been in there since Sunday, just working hard, getting educational stuff up, making them look good. So I'm excited. The animals come in tonight, just changes the whole complexity of everything.
It does. The animals make the fair for me. Without them, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I think it's just the community part, right? I think if you go to a festival, fairs are a festival, but when you add the livestock and you add all the stuff that ag education, now they're not a festival. They're a unique event that's over 200 years old that is incredibly popular with all their communities. It's community celebration.
One of the really fun things at the fair is all the exhibits that come in. People from the community bring in their exhibits. Animals, we've got 4-H, FFA, plus other things. Is that going to be the same this year? Yeah,
it should be. I think our animals are actually about the same as they were in 2019. Some of our other exhibits are down a little bit, but we still have a great amount of them. And I think best part about that is it's a community event, so people that are participating into the fair, they get tickets to come in and see what it is, but they're showing us what they have. They're showing us what they grow. They're showing us their art skills. And I think participation of the community in the fair is the difference between it and a festival.
Yeah, really true. In fact, we were one of those families coming in, 5 minutes to 7 the other night when you were bringing in some of the craft kind of exhibits. My kids were trying to finish everything up that they said they were going to bring, and it's just really fun then to be able to go to the fair and see not only what your kids made or you made, but what other people in the community are doing. It's really great.
Yeah, and that's an amazing day because you come in, it's open all day, people bring their stuff in, they have it all set out. The next day they come in and the judges come in, and these are all volunteers that do it, our superintendents and volunteers. Judges come in, judge all the art and everything that has been brought into us. And the next day they move it over up into the area, and then the superintendents are setting up their displays so they look good for the people buying tickets to come into the fair.
Boy, I can tell from what you're saying that volunteers are really important.
Oh yeah, this is a special place. I think Walla Walla has better volunteers at this fair than anyone that I've been around, and
nice.
I've known a lot too. I've been to a lot of fair conventions, and you just can't duplicate what they have here. So we're lucky, very lucky to have that. Yep.
Oh, and the animals. So
Yeah.
you said we'll have a kind of the regular number, and that feels like such a special thing. I don't know, it wouldn't be a fair without them.
Right. Animals are different between us being a fair and just being a different type of event or something, but we have 500 of them coming in tonight and tomorrow morning. So officially they can come in at 5 o'clock tonight, so the barns will be packed with people loading in, and then 6 a.m. tomorrow until 9 they'll be loading in too. So, and you know what? I think you got to go through the barns and see all the animals. You have to, right? I think that's one of the better parts of the fair.
The goats are my favorite.
Oh, the goats?
I confess. Yeah, well, I might have a little background in goat 4-H when I was a kid.
Goats have a new home this year. They moved down to one of the barns closest to Orchard Street. So they have a brand new setup, so they're not in the expo this year. So we have so many participants in that area. It's a nice setup. It looks good in there.
That's good.
They've done a great job.
Look for them.
Yeah, look for the goats there.
Definitely
Yeah.
So, and we've got food at the fair. You've got food vendors coming in once again.
Yeah, we've had quite a few new food vendors this year, and new barbecued stuff and lemonade slushies and a brand new footlong corn dog guy and mac and cheese deep fried bites. And so there's some really unique stuff that's going to be interesting.
Plus some of our old favorites.
Plus our old favorites. And I've been told that some of the people in Walla Walla are pretty loyal to their old favorites. So I look forward to seeing that. I got asked earlier, which one's your favorite? I said, well, I don't have one yet. But I think they'll all be. I said, I think they'll all be my favorite.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite, but I don't want to show partiality here
there you go.
on the air.
Yeah.
So how do people get tickets to the fair? Can you just show up?
Yeah, you can show up, and we're parking in the Garrison lot or the Titan lot, either way, and we have you can buy tickets at Gate 8, which is across from Titan, or Gate 3, which is across from Garrison. There's a Gate 9 too, but not really a public entrance. But yeah, you can buy it. It's $10, and it is $5 for kids and seniors. First day, though, I would say, is free till 3. So
nice. When does it open?
It's free. It opens at 11. So until 3 o'clock, you can come to the fair on Wednesday free of charge. Compliments of sponsorship with Pepsi.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
So 11 to 3 free at the fair if you want to do it.
Yep.
We're giving this interview after Wednesday, but we're going to keep that piece of information for next year because it'll probably be like that.
It'll be that again.
It's still 5 for kids and seniors.
Yeah.
10 for adults.
Yep. Parking's 5. And friends of Walla Walla are doing the parking in the one, and I think Rotary's doing our other lots, Chase lot and the Titan lot. So
very good. Well, I hope that we'll have a great turnout of the fair this year. I know people there. I just heard a lot of lamenting in the community last year that we couldn't have the fair. It's a very special event to our community. So
it sure is.
Glad to see you
felt
here,
that
be
since
part
I've been
of
here.
it, and looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
Okay.
Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time for Station News. We've just been talking about the fair, a really favorite activity and event here in our community. And Blue Mountain Television is going to be at the fair this year with our booth in the pavilion. So please come by and say hello to us. I've been talking about it for a few weeks now, and this is kind of my last chance to say to you, we would love to see you at the fair. There's going to be station personnel and volunteers there who would like to meet you, chat with you. So do stop by and see us. And that's going to be, we'll be there from September 1 through 5. So for the fair. So be sure to join us there. And also, we just have to say a huge thank you to a wonderful volunteer who went over to our new facility on that floor space in the studio where we had pulled up the carpet and there was lots of glue and residue there on the floor, and sanded it all down to make it look absolutely beautiful and be nice and smooth the way we need it to be a good studio floor for productions there. So it's ready now to become a studio space, and so huge thank you. I know there are a number of others of you who would like to volunteer and be a part of our moving project, and please contact us at the station and let us know if you're interested in helping. And as these jobs come open and become available as we're working through the process, we would love to involve you in helping us with creating this new space. And speaking of volunteers, we're going to have some appreciation for them, special appreciation for volunteers and some of our top donors to Blue Mountain Television. That's coming up September 19. And we're going to have this appreciation event at the new facility where we haven't really moved yet, but where we have progress going on and work going on, but we're going to have the event there so that you can see the updates and the things that have happened, especially since we had our open house back in the spring. This is going to be from 4 to 7 p.m. as a come and go event. And remember, this is by invitation, so for those of you who are volunteers or who are some of our top donors, you will receive invitation to this event. And then we're also in the final stages of something that's going to be really exciting to hear for those of you who like to watch Blue Mountain Television on Roku. We're updating our Roku channel. In the last stages of doing that, earlier in this week, we approved the design for the new channel, and now we're moving it into the implementation phase. So this is great news for our engineer volunteers and for you as well, I'm sure. And then I have to remind you that we have a gift catalog that is still available. And if you don't have one, you need to ask for it. Call the station at 529-9149, that's area code 509, and ask for this gift catalog so that we can send it to you. You can look through and you can see what gifts we need at the station that you can choose to purchase that will provide equipment for our new facility. We've had a bit of a slowdown on gifts coming in for the new facility, and so I'm hoping to kind of stir up your interest to be a part of contributing to the new facility once again. Yes, we need our daily operations to keep going too, and the gifts you've been giving to that are so much appreciated. But we also don't want to forget about this project. We haven't moved in yet because we have a lot of work to do still at the new facility. And of course, each bit of work that we do there requires funds first. And so we can kind of only move as quickly as those funds are coming in. So you may be feeling impressed right now to give something toward the new facility. And if you are, I encourage you to either give online or send a check into the station. And we would love to see you contributing to that. We would love to see it move forward at a faster pace. And I remind you every time that the only reason we have a Blue Mountain Television is because of you. You're the viewer, you're the supporter, you're the one that's a prayer partner. And it's all happening at this very grassroots level of our community saying, yes, we want to have this Christian television station here in our community, and we want to keep it going, and so we're contributing to it. So thank you for what you are doing. And I also want to thank you for tuning in to the show today and watching. Hope you enjoyed your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.